So, Justin, it's quite topical at the moment with the cost of housing being in the newspapers, on the TV every night when you have a look at it. And I've noticed that people are starting to get a little bit creative in terms of how they're buying property, and that is maybe siblings buying together or friends buying together. And I just want you to sort of, elaborate a little bit on, I know when you purchase a property, you can buy it as either tenants in common or as joint tenants. So can you just shed a little bit of light on that in context that if someone is looking at doing that, what does that mean for them?
Sure, yeah. So joint tenants, that's where most couples buy a property in joint tenants. And basically what that means, you're buying as one. And how I explain that is if you and your wife are married joint tenants on a property, one of you passes away, then the other party listed on the title receives full ownership of that property. Okay, just automatically goes across. Okay, yep. So your tenants in common, though, is a little bit different. It means that you can then split ownership. So you might have a husband and wife buying an investment property. One might be 99% share, the other one 1% share. Now, I do have to say, obviously, I can't give tax advice, but that's the common reason for doing it. It may also be that it's a divorced couple getting back together and they want to confirm that they're going to have their family receive money at settlement if they pass away. So if the property's then sold, they can then will that part of their house to the family members so then nobody loses ownership of the property. So that's basically it. One can be owned and distributed to a will, and the other one is just transferred through death to the other party.
Yeah, okay. So in the situation where you've got maybe friends buying together, what's the recommendation there?
Mate, tenants in common would be the best way. Yeah, tenants in common, investment property is very common for that. And then you can have it split up to equal shares. So if there's four parties, you can have tenants in common, equal shares 25%, or there might be one party that's putting in more money. You can have it as unequal shares, and that might be 75-25, that sort of thing.
Yep. Okay. No, that's good, because I think people are trying to get a bit creative out there to try and get into the market, and these questions certainly come up at the point of when they're going to sign a contract, obviously, where you can help them out.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, and if you are doing that, my other advice to your clients would be to talk to Revenue New South Wales about to see if there are any incentives for them to buy in those sort of situations, because I know the government did put out some incentives middle of this year.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome, mate. Well, thanks for the tip.